Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. Me and Fez are here to discuss the Boxing Day test action from both test matches. It's been batsmen's paradise in both games, and it's been dominated by the batters. At times it's been boring, but at times it's been fun as well. David Warner getting to his double century, a brilliant knock for him. From him, what a comeback! New Zealand fighting back after conceding 420, 413 runs against Pakistan. Aga Salman scoring a really good 100. But then it's Tom Latham and Conway putting up a very good opening stand. Fez, you're with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. Just a very not a boring day. It was interesting to watch student batting. Like we said, Aga Salman was bowling aggressively. I think he took a major amount of the strike throughout the session, and yeah, he had Noman Ali, Wasim Jr., and other people with him. But I think maximum all of them put together, except Noman Ali, they didn't bat much, and Aga took most of the strike, obviously. And yeah, it was a very good innings. Came down the pitch confidently, lifting it over the infield over the short amara. So yeah, Aga Salman. And I'm feeling better than Norkhia. I feel bad for Norkhia getting hit with the camera, but we will come back to that as well.
क्या क्या की हो गया बॉक्सिंग उधर बॉक्सिंग डे टेस्ट मैच में एमसीजी में तो क्या क्या की हो गया आज इंजरीज क्रैम्प्स वो क्या
Yeah.
स्पाइडर कैम आके फोड़ दिया नोकिया को वहां से क्या क्या की हो गया आज
एज एन इंडियन फैन आप ऐसा बैठ के बस यूं कर रहे हैं कि हाँ अच्छा है भाई जो जो इंजर हो रहा है बट लाइक बुरा भी लगता है कि ऑब्वियसली ऐसे लोगों को इंजर बट इंडियन फैन के हिसाब से अगर अपन देख रहे हैं कैमरन कीन एंड अगर स्टार्क का अपन बात करेंगे तो या इट बी लाइक सॉर्ट ऑफ हाँ भाई चलो अच्छा ही हुआ
Yeah, let's go into the eye test and discuss further the individual performances today. तो पहली बात तो डेविड वार्नर की होंगी उसकी जो पारी थी डबल सेंचुरी it was funny in the end where he celebrated and got cramps it was kind of funny, the commentators were laughing as well, but the way he played today, I felt that the transfer of his weight onto the back foot, front foot was perfect today. He looked in very good rhythm, and even before getting to 100, it looked like he's sort of going to suffer from cramps, so he didn't look 100%, but after he got into the century, it was just he went into fifth, sixth gear. He started scoring, just like stand and deliver type, and some great shots. There's one shot through the leg side that he whipped. It just showed like David Warner is back, and his what do you call it? Those famous cut shots that David Warner has, slapping it through the offside, that was back as well. And there was a bit of fortune when there's an inside edge where he almost got out. Like, apart from that, it was a chanceless innings. He batted really well. I think getting Labuschagne run out, that he probably felt upset about that, but he made the most of it and made sure it didn't really cost the team too much. Steve Smith also partnered with him. He batted, but it was David Warner's day, and he completely dominated.
Yeah, I think he was up and ready and willing to go for his 100th test. Zabardast, 200 runs Mara. And it looked like David Warner after a long time, like you mentioned, the body balance and stuff. But I just think as the innings progressed, he started believing more. He's not played a big test knock in a while. And I think once you start to get to that, 50 and then 75, you start believing more in yourself and the shots coming off. It just feels, like, this is my day and I'm not going to let anyone stop me. Was a kind of a situation for David Warner. He felt, that, aaj koi rok के बता दो मेरे को. He did take a few blows to the head as well from North Khayes bowling 150 kilometers per hour, and you have the likes of Rabada. It's not an easy game. I think कुछ ज्यादा ही गर्मी थी आज, 37 degrees था मेलबर्न में, and वो गर्मी में आप उतने लंबे पारी खेलना, it's not an easy thing where have the likes of North Khayes who was trying to pitch it mostly in terms of like wicket to wicket, but they were also falling short. And South African bowler just not standing up. We've discussed this yesterday as well. Okay, bhai, South African bowlers, they really need to, they have the quality in bowling. They need to really, pick it up a notch. They're bowling very basic, according to me. Thoda wide dal rahe, thoda leg side is both dal rahe. But yeah, overall, David Warner, man, he's just too good to watch, and I would really like him to, come in form, and because it's always a delight to watch. His batting at no point, I think even you would agree, was boring because of the quality of shots he was taking from the offside to the leg side to the pull shots. Everything was in like top quality.
Yeah, and you mentioned the bowling. I think they did look lackluster at times. लेकिन Nokia जो डाल रहा था, he was constantly testing, challenging the batsman. Whether it was Warner, Smith, and Cameron Green, he was hitting the gloves. He was bowling the bouncers a quick pace, and थोड़ा सा up and down था वहाँ पे. And it wasn't. as easy as it seemed. But David Warner, the way he played, he made sure that there was no pressure on Steve Smith. He took the mantle on himself. He kept scoring runs, and he just tired the South African bowlers. And at the end, yeah, they looked extremely tired. And there's going to be a long day tomorrow again. And this is something that we kind of predicted. Ki bhai, agar early wickets nahi liye, to phir Australia will punish you. And it was a typical day in Australia. MCG Test match, Australia dominating, and that's what it was. And it's going to become even more tougher now for South Africa. It's not going to get easy. From Australia's point of view, one thing is that, of course, injuries ke issues ho rahe hain, so which will might cause them problems. They have some time for that India series, but in the the recent future coming up, the games, they might have to rest a few players because Mitchell Stark, I don't know if he's going to come out to bowl. Cameron Green, blood started coming out, uska ungli kat gaya, and he just looked like he was badly injured. That ball was just,
Yeah,
wrapped him in the
lethal.
knuckles. Yeah, and wrapped him on the knuckles. It was a lethal delivery. So it won't be like Ibrahim Bhai is joining us. Thank you so much for joining. Saying, do you think there is a chance South Africa will pull off a draw? Stark Green might not bowl in the second innings. Look, there is a possibility of that. If they don't, bowl, if these two don't bowl, then Australia will struggle. But I still feel they have enough time to bowl South Africa out. And you see this pitch, I think it'll be a bit more conducive to bowlers in the next couple of days. You already saw a few bouncers, thoda uchal ke ball aa raha, so it won't be as smooth for the South African batsmen. But yes, you'll see more overs from Nathan Lyon. He'll probably occupy one end, and then Cummins will have to rotate himself and all the other fast bowlers with
You
him.
might even see. Do you think you might even see Steve Smith bowl in this test match?
Labuschagne, Smith, these guys will bowl as well. And there might be some purchase off the wicket for the spinners. Look, there is a chance but South Africa's batting has not impressed me, right? So if they, when the Australian bowlers are fresh in the beginning and they pick up quick wickets, then, then it'll be very difficult for South Africa to pull off a draw. There's a long way to go for them to get to that situation. And even if the two bowlers minus, I still feel that Australia might just have enough to wrap this victory. But it's a good point.
Yeah, 100%. What you said about North Korea as well, he was the only one who was looking like lethal, because even in the post-match conference, he was saying that, we studied the pitch a bit. It looked slopey, so we decided to go towards the crease and try to bowl a little bit more fuller and come at them, just be more aggressive, try to get as much as space I can off this wicket. And that's all I was doing. That was where his focus was today, to get, as much as space off the pitch that's possible, to attack them, to hit them, to scare them. But yeah, they came out just next level prepared, man. Warner was ready to take that blow. It felt like nothing gonna stop him.
Yeah, and Smith, Labuschagne, Head will bowl for sure. Yeah, Travis Head is there as well. So they have options there. Of course, it's not like, Cameron Green and Stark are your main bowlers, but especially Stark. Like, and they do have options. Also, Steve Smith getting dropped. That ball from Marco Jansen, extra bounce. He gloved it to the keeper, and Varane dropped it. He got a glove to it, and the commentator was saying, Gilly, you would have caught that. Gilly was on air at that time, and that cost South Africa, because Smith was batting on 8-9. That was a crucial point in the test match as well. You get Smith out, and I know Travis Head is in brilliant form, but you get Steve Smith out, you take those 80 runs out of the equation, and that was you expect those catches to be taken. So South Africa lackluster in the field with the ball. They created a few chances here and there, but just they weren't good enough to take those chances, and they are being punished now. And this is going to be a long test match for South Africa. You can see the legs already getting tired.
Yeah, 100%. They looked very tired. They looked exhausted. For me, that, like what we've been speaking yesterday as well, man. South Africa really need to restructure their batting, bowling wise. We know they're set. Their bowlers today also, Northia was saying that we need a little bit help from the batsmen as well. It is adding pressure to us that you're giving us a target of 189 to defend, like not defend, but like at least get Australia a little quicker to be all out. But it's getting tougher for them as well, and it's certainly, as a bowler, we've played enough cricket to understand how they must be feeling. But yeah, I feel that the batting has to step up. Dean Elgar, Irvi, Temba Bavuma, these guys really need to at least give something to the bowler, even a minimal lead of 150 or something. Then it'll be interesting. I still feel that innings defeat हो सकती है अगर इन लोग ऐसे batting करते गए. Innings defeat का बहुत बड़ी possibility है.
Yeah, and Australia will look to bat even more now to give Cameron Green that recovery time, Mitchell Stark that recovery time, because if there's any chance of them coming back into the test match, it'll only happen later on. So I think Australia will look to bat as deep as possible. There's still a lot of time left in the test match, so they'll try to take it as further as possible, and then let South Africa have a bat. Remember is making a really good point. South Africa order needs to be changed. I think Markram, Peterson, Zubair Hamza will return to strengthen batting. Man, look, these are the players that are missing. So we've been criticizing the South African batsmen, but this is not the full batting lineup. These guys, if they come back, Markram, he has that experience. I know he hasn't shown that consistency yet, but he has the talent. He can really counter attack as well. He has a good defense on him. He's opened the batting before. He's batted in the middle order. Then you have Peterson, who looked beautiful in that India series. Zubair Hamza, a very exciting youngster. He's someone who can knuckle down as well. So of course they have options. When they're full strength, it might be a different South African team. But again, playing in Australian conditions is always going to be difficult. And your batsmen, right now, normally it's batsmen actually do well in Australia, but it's been the opposite, and that's because these South African batsmen who are currently playing are just not good enough. They're not up to the mark, and they're being exploited. Wherever there's a hint of movement or hint of extra bounce or whatever, Australia exploding and South Africa succumbing under pressure. So वही हो रहा है, and I definitely feel that if they get these batters back, then South Africa will be stronger. Like you said, even on this kind of pitch, the bowlers were still trying to get something. They were getting the ball to talk at certain times. But you have to credit Australia, the way they batted, the way David Warner batted. He just batted South Africa out of the game. I was reading tweets that Babar took like a full day to get 160, whereas Warner got from 100 to double 100 in split of a second. But that's the credit that Warner gets. He should get. He is such an aggressive batsman. I think one of our boys in the comment section had mentioned Warner as their fantasy pick. I don't remember who. They got it spot on. So yeah, well done.
And also considering the fact of the bowling that South Africa had when compared to a New Zealand, more threatening attack with like from Nevada, Northea, and these guys, and being able to score 200 in one day, I think that is something incredible. And like you said, that Steve Smith catch was very crucial. They together, I think they put 230-odd partnership, man. And that was a beautiful innings from both of them to watch. Unfortunate for Steve Smith, he couldn't get to a century. But yeah, lately we've been seeing just a lot of catches being dropped, and that's always going to cost someone or the other. But yeah, the fielding also has to be clinical. Speaking of
Steve
in the
Smith,
field, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I think Steve Smith looked really good. The cover drives that he was hitting, wow, man, for me, he's the best test batsman. And उन्हें slip catch दे दिया, like he just gave catching practice at the end. लेकिन उन्हें बहुत जबरदस्त दिख रहा था. He looked in very good touch, and he's the most. If I'm opposition, this guy is the most irritating. I don't want to see him at the crease because he will just bat and end में दे दिया catch उन्हें, लेकिन उसका भी double 100 on था if he just continued to bat on.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little upset with the way he got out, but yeah, that's just cricket. Unfortunately, one bad decision and you're out. But speaking of touch, and North here, man, adding insult to injury हो गया बेचारे को स्पाइडर कैमरा आके घुस गया अंदर पीछे से. क्या हो गया था वो बहुत हंसी आई मेरे को तो देख के.
मेरे को तो समझ में नहीं आया एकदम से. There was like a break in between the game. फिर मैं ट्विटर पे देखा वो like the spider cam just came flying in, धाड़ बोल के knocked him down, and that guy is a big structured man, very fit, physically big, and for a spider cam to knock you down, that means it came like flying in. And he tweeted also Vinci Spider after the game just like an hour ago. So he's seeing the funny side of it. It was funny, but I don't know how it felt when that happened, because if a man like that fell down, then imagine what will happen to us कि अगर आगे spider cam
मेरे तो खैर सिर के ऊपर चलेंगे, वो अलग बात है.
स्पाइडी बोल रहा हूँ कि भाई इतना बोरिंग कर रहे, खाली रन आ रहे, कुछ भी एक्शन नहीं आ रहा, तो आके थोड़ा एंटरटेनमेंट करके वो कर देंगे. Rabada also in the field was like getting the MCG crowd to dance to his moves. He was stretching and they were copying his stretches. So they're trying to do something for outside entertainment, because it was getting boring. I'll be very honest with you. Like both test matches, at a point it was getting difficult to watch. Of course, watching Warner is brilliant, but you want to see an even contest. When you don't see an even contest, नींद आती.
Yeah, 100%. I think वही था. और उन्हें नॉर्थ ये भी बोला था कि भाई we need to make sure that it's not at least head height. I mean, forget about me. Think about Marco Jansen, man. That guy is walking around. It might just hit that guy, and he's like a tree. बोले तो public हंसी थी. But the broadcaster did confirm that they will have the spider camera even tomorrow. It's not going to go off, but they'll make sure that they have all safety measures in check. So the Spider-Man is Spider Cam. Sorry, Spider-Man. Spider Cam is back. And he's going to come and get its next victim. Hopefully not, but yeah, that's the news for now. But overall, yeah, it's just been a very poor display from South Africa, man. I mean, I really wanted to see a hot and spicy. We were so excited for this thing. The first test, Hanake, the pitch, the way the pitch was, I wouldn't mind going back to that pitch, because it was at least adding some kind of a flavor where both the sides had
Yeah.
a chance. Given the fact, like we've been mentioning that first last के innings में अगर 100 का टोटल देते तो रबाडा निकाल रहा था यार, लोगों को 4 विकेट 45 में निकाल लिया, तो सोचो 100 का टारगेट देते तो क्या होता था. बट ये जो पिच है अभी के हिसाब से तो भाई लुक्स लाइक अ बैटिंग पैराडाइज. और जैसा आप बोलते हैं कि हमेशा टेंथ डाल के सोगे, तो मेरे को तो वही लग रहा है कि भाई टेंथ डाल के सोगे.
अब मुश्किल है. ट्रेविस हेड भी क्या फॉर्म में दिख रहा था. जस्ट केम इन, जस्ट प्लेइंग हिज शॉट्स, लुक सो फ्लुएंट. He hit a 6 and a 4 in one over, and just like, just a touch of arrogance there, that man, I'm here to play. He's in sublime form, and that's worrying signs for India as well. I know it'll be different conditions, but the fact that everyone is contributing now, David Warner is also scoring a double 100. This Australian team looks really lethal. One thing they'll have to take care of is injuries, and they'll need the players fit for that India tour. But if they have the full strength team at full fitness, then they will give anyone for their run, anyone a run for their money. Even India in Indian conditions, because they do have the spinners also. Nathan Nine will come back in, and he will be the main guy. And they have really good batsmen who can tackle spin. So this Australian team looks very lethal, and everyone coming into form. You get runs. Once you get runs under your belt, पूरा आपका confidence change हो जाता है. अब Warner को next innings में देखो कैसा खेलता है. He doesn't have the pressure, the burden anymore. And also credit to him that he could have easily got out after 100, but he made sure that नहीं भाई मेरे को capitalize करना है, make hay while the sun shines. That's what I wanted Babar to do. I know this is a bit critical from me, lekin he got to 150, 160. You need him to convert it into 200 and just take the game out of New Zealand's hands. But now that even though Salman scored 100, you got 430, New Zealand can still get to that score. New Zealand are still in this game. Yes, Pakistan have the upper edge still, because they batted first and they're probably bowl last on this pitch. Lekin the fact that you kept New Zealand in the game, I didn't take them out. That's the difference. David Warner made sure that भाई चांस ही नहीं है आपको. मैं 200 पढ़ने वाला, और उन्होंने अभी आउट नहीं है होना, तो वापस आके बैटिंग कर सकता.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. और Gatorade और नमक का पानी डाल के आ जाता है ना वापस, क्रैम्स खत्म हो गया.
आजकल पिकल जूस बहुत चलता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. यू रिमेंबर पुजारा एक बार पी के थूक गया था, एंड अब इन लोग भी पी रहे. पिकल जूस बहुत चल रहा है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में. इट्स वेरी फेमस ड्यूरिंग द ऑस्ट्रेलियन समर्स, एंड इट टेस्ट्स लाइक क्रैप, बट इट हेल्प्स टू गेट रिड ऑफ द क्रैम्प्स.
Yeah. Because of the salt content in it, I think that helps the recovery. But yeah, New Zealand, man, एक कितना 1 सेशन मिला उन लोगों को, 1.25 सेशन मिला उन लोगों को, उसमें ऑलरेडी एक 100 की पार्टनरशिप हो गई. दे लुक वेरी गुड. टॉम लेथम, man, you were speaking about him, he was your fantasy pick. Sweep shots on point, reverse sweeps, conventional pulls, man, this guy is killing it. I was really very much fascinated to see his batting. बहुत मेरे को प्यारा दिखा उसके shot selection. Yeah, so your thoughts on Tom Latham and the fact that 100 partnership already. Do you see New Zealand being able to reach 300 by the next session, the morning session?
Yeah, I think the pitch, maybe towards the end of tomorrow, maybe middle of tomorrow, it might. I'll be surprised if it stays like this. But this is an excellent wicket to bat on, and that's where I feel that Pakistan could have done better, because the way, of course, credit to Latham and Conway, they batted really well, and but there was not much in it. If you're bowling full, you're getting swept. If you dragged it short, you're getting pulled and cut. And they played really well. And also, if you noticed, Conway was constantly talking to Latham. He was telling him, "Bhai, ye ball thoda slow aa raha hai, ye thoda flight aa raha hai." He was exactly telling him ki bhai, how the opposition is bowling. The communication was key between the two, and that was the success to the partnership for me. You mentioned the sweep shots. For me, one shot Conway ka seedha aisa kadak mara tha. I think Abrar Ahmed ko straight down the ground. He drove him. That was the shot of the day for me. And both of them really impressed. Latham, for me, I've seen him against India quite a bit of times, and I know he's a brilliant player of spin. He plays spin really well, and he did not give Abrar Ahmed a sniff. Abrar Ahmed is someone who takes a bunch of wickets. What we saw from the England series, he didn't let Noman settle down. Very good player, front foot, back foot. He'll dance down the wicket if needed, but he has a good head on his shoulders. Played very sensibly. The turning point, not the turning point, but a key point in the game in today's match was that they did not go for the review. Conway was out. वो भी कॉर्ड भी and bat को लगा भाई. You can say that the pad might have blocked Sarfaraz's view and stuff, मगर आवाज तो आती. So I was very surprised. It was a big appeal, but they did not go for the review. That's Sarfaraz's fault. I know that मैं उसकी तारीफ कर रहा था कल, लेकिन he should have taken that review, or he should have told Babar. I don't know what it is, Faiz, but I noticed it a bit कि Sarfaraz looks a bit subdued behind the wicket. He doesn't look as animated. Maybe उन्हें बहुत ज्यादा बोलता था तो उसको बोल रहे भाई टीम में अगर खेलना है तो थोड़ा सा calm down रखो, because that review should have been taken and Pakistan should have got the breakthrough.
Yeah, no, with regards to the review, I think it was just that, like you said, he was blinded by the inner part of the pad and stuff. And the second thing was that they already had taken two reviews prior to that, which didn't work out for them. So I think they were a little hesitant कि भाई अगर ये review चले गया तो फिर खत्म हो जाएगी बारात. But
That speaks that they shouldn't have taken
when
it.
it initially happened, Sarfaraz was the first one to go up. He was like, "Arey bhai ho gaya," and then he just calmed down for some reason. And then the infamous Babar 5-4-3-2-1, and then I thought that was coming, but it didn't come. So I think that was just because of the reviews that had not gone their way in the last two reviews that didn't go their way. But yeah, Sarfaraz was speaking yesterday also after the conference, and he was like, "Bhai, मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था, my heart was beating so fast. I felt like मैं debut में खेल रहा हूँ. मेरे को इतनी टेंशन हो रही है, इतना मैं है, वो इतना डरा हुआ है उन्हें, because obviously 3 साल के बाद आप आते हो, you don't want to make a mistake. But yes, you did make a mistake. I won't say completely your fault. Obviously, the captain also has his say. But yeah, he could have just gone for that review and maybe they would have one in the bucket. But unfortunately, for Sarfaraz and the team, that they didn't. But apart from that, Tom Latham and Conway just looked very comfortable. They understood the conditions very good. There was one shot I was going to tell you that back foot pe Latham moves and he lifts it on from the offside, like उठा देता वो.
Yeah.
वो shot बहुत प्यारा था. Back lift और back lift दोनों ही बेहतरीन था. Back strength भी जबरदस्त थी उसकी. That was like the shot of the day for me. But apart from that, yeah, they looked very settled, very quick runs that they got in the one session. They managed to get 100-run partnership. I think Pakistan has some to do something. Obviously, as the I think day 4 तक maybe the turn might come. They might be a little bit purchased because पूरा rough patch आ जाएगा. जब इतना तो dry हो गया ही होगा wicket अभी तक. But देखना ही पड़ेगा अभी क्या करते हैं.
और उन लोग पेस नहीं दिख रही. वसीम जूनियर वाज द फास्टेस्ट. आई नो ही बोल्ड अ फ्यू बॉल्स 140 पे, मगर उसका कंसिस्टेंट जो पेस था 130 हाई 130s में था. तो पाकिस्तान's bowling does look lackluster, looks flat, especially the faster bowlers didn't get any purchase. You need a Marco type bowler, man, in this kind of pitch. You need express pace. They're missing Naseem Shah. अब देखो Naseem Shah injured है, मगर उन्हें 12th मैन फील्डिंग कर रहा था. मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया वो. आई डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई अगर उन्हें फिट नहीं है तो आप उसको फील्डिंग क्यों करा रहे. स्ट्रेंज डिसीजंस मैन एट टाइम्स फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान. Bowling looked very lackluster and they got New Zealand back into the game. I still feel Pakistan are ahead. A couple wickets, they get some breakthroughs, they can put the New Zealand batting under pressure. लेकिन if these guys continue to bat, they score, get a 200-run 250-run partnership, फिर आपके पास विलियमसन है भाई, केनानाथ सो जा सकते हैं पिच पे, फिर आपके पास Mitchell will come, he'll attack. They have Blundell, Basil, all these guys. Henry Nichols, they have a lot of options to come and score quick runs as well. So things won't get easy if they don't get wickets. But what is in Pakistan's favor is that we're going into day 3 and we're expecting the pitch to dry out a bit more uneven bounce. And it's a long day, right? It's going to be a long day of cricket. So you will have opportunities to break through. You need to take proper reviews and you need to take your catches.
अनइवन बाउंस तो हुआ था एक आध 2 बॉल्स पे. एक अबरार का जो एलबीडब्ल्यू का शॉट था वो भी एकदम स्टे लो. बट या अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट नॉट मच इन इट फॉर द बॉलर्स. बट आई थिंक नसीम शाह को लाने का पॉइंट ये था कि जस्ट प्रोबब्ली दे वांटेड टू टेस्ट हिम आउट कि भाई इसका शोल्डर
भाई ऐसा थोड़ी टेस्ट करते हैं
होता. बट लाइक आई थिंक थोड़ा बहुत उसको फिट करा लाइक मैच के. आई डोंट नो अब वो जिस तरीके से ट्राइंग टू कीप इट एज
फर्स्ट टाइम मैं देख रहा हूं 12th मैन भी इंजर्ड दिख रहा है मेरे को. लाइक आते की मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया. एटलीस्ट गेट समबडी फिट. एंड बेचारे को क्यों व्हाई यू रनिंग हिम डाउन टू द थिंग. दिस सर्टेन डिसीजंस दे जस्ट बियॉन्ड मी मैन. लाइक यू कांट डू दैट. लाइक ही इज नॉट फिट, देन जस्ट लीव हिम गो. आप टेस्ट करना चाह रहे हो जाके नेट्स में करो, कहीं और करो, बिहाइंड क्लोज्ड डोर्स फील्डिंग कराओ. आप सबके सामने उसको फील्डिंग करा रहे जब उन्हें खेला ही नहीं गेम अभी तक बिकॉज ऑफ इंजरी. इफ न्यूजीलैंड कैन बैट टिल लेंथ on day 4, Pakistan will put on the back foot and New Zealand will be favored to win. Look, that's a possibility as well. Now, whether the fact they can maintain this and continue to score runs without losing that many wickets, if they do that, if they get to 600, then New Zealand are in the driver's seat. Like, if a few wickets go in the first session tomorrow, that's what Pakistan will be looking to do. Then Pakistan will have a thing. There's a lot of time still in the game. It's not like it's day 3, so I wouldn't say it's 100% draw right now. I think either team can win. Pakistan's slight favorites till now, but things can change quickly if they don't pick up wickets. They don't put pressure on New Zealand. They don't take their catches. They don't take proper reviews. तो फिर गेम जाता हाथ में से. So Pakistan have to be alert. They have to be disciplined. मगर जान नहीं दिख रही उनकी bowling attack में. Let's see if the pitch can help them.
बाबर आके bowling कर रहा है. ये टाइम आ गया पाकिस्तान की bowling का.
But yeah, at least थोड़ा सा कुछ different try करे. I didn't mind looking at that because at least you saw Joe Root picking up a few wickets. So maybe he's learning from that कि भाई मैं भी अगर थोड़ा करा तो कुछ भी मिल सकता है विकेट।
लेकिन भाई तुम I wanted to talk about two catches in the New Zealand and Pakistan innings today. One was Bracewell जो one hand पकड़ा वैगनर की bowling पे,
हाँ,
और दूसरा मेरे को इस्रोदी की bowling में जो ब्लंडल करा. Not a lot of people are appreciating that movement from Blundell, man. That was smart. He just put his hand
वेरी
up.
फास्ट वापस, या
Maybe it was a reflex. Maybe it was just a reflex. अरे मेरे मुंह पे पड़ा है कुछ. But like वो करके उन्हें फिर वापस पकड़ा, and that was very good catch. And obviously, you know, with Bracewell catch वो तो चिपक गया बोलते थे को हाथ में आके stick
या
करना पड़ता. वो stick हुआ,
या
and it was very good one-handed catch. From Bracewell as well. तो मतलब अच्छा था. Some kind of an innovation from the New Zealand fielders, कुछ तो भी देखने को मिला different. But yeah, अगर New Zealand कल you know they continue on batting like this till lunch and you know probably till tea also. And अगर जैसे आप बोले 600 मार दिए और वहां से अगर bowling उन लोग की और पिच अगर उनके फेवर में आ गई ना, जब तक in terms of एजाज पटेल and what's his name यार दूसरा वाले का uh,
ग्रेसफुल।
Bracewell, yeah, then New Zealand can obviously win it till day 4 maybe.
Yeah, and we want to see some action. We want the game to move a bit. Go see a contest between bat and ball. Lekin also, whoever's in the chat, let us know if the team. I'm keep checking if the India team comes out. We can discuss it right now, but it hasn't come yet. The India
Not yet,
T20 team is
yeah.
supposed to be announced. तो देखना
हाँ,
पड़ेगा।
Ranit
यही है
भाई was
भाई, यही
Ranit
भाई
भाई.
है। मुस्तफा भाई बोला था वार्नर वाज माय पिक, याद है आपको? बिल्कुल आपके डिस्कस कर रहे थे। आपका मेरे को याद नहीं था कौन बंदा था। मेरे को याद है कि एक बंदा बोला था वार्नर, एंड थैंक यू फॉर कंफर्मिंग, दैट वाज अ
इसलिए
ग्रेट पिक, आउटस्टैंडिंग।
इसलिए उनका
आपको
नाम
हैम्पर
हाँ,
मिलता आज।
उषा भाई,
हाँ,
इसलिए उनका नाम सरकार है, समझ रहे हो, गवर्नमेंट है वो. उनको पता
आई
है.
मीन अगर हमारे पास हैम्पर था तो आपको ये हैम्पर मिलता था। दैट वाज अ ग्रेट पिक। डेविड वार्नर वो भी डबल 100 मारा, ऐसा नहीं है खाली सेंचुरी मार के आउट हो गया, डबल 100 मारा, एंड लॉट ऑफ फैंटेसी पॉइंट्स देयर, एंड ग्रेट स्टफ, वेरी गुड पिक, एक्सीलेंट पिक। एंड इसलिए हम लोग सबके ओपिनियंस लेते हैं, बिकॉज कोई ना कोई सही निकलेगा। सबके अलग अलग रहते हैं और कोई ना कोई सही निकलेगा। आप सही निकले बिल्कुल। मेरा कौन था पिक मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा, मगर नहीं चला उन्हें मेरे हिसाब से ये गेम में। तो वेरी गुड कॉल रनित भाई, एंड आप जुड़ते रहिए, जो भी सवाल है कमेंट से बोलते रहिए, एंड लेट अस नो व्हाट यू थिंक about both the test matches. Warner is always known for his comeback. Yes, great character, great mental strength. You saw that relief in his celebrations both times, 100 and double 100.
Yeah.
And उन्हें दो बार कूदा, even though second time नहीं कूदना था, मगर कूद दिया था उन्हें. And also, what he went through Fez with the captaincy, and like not being able to captain, and like going to all these hearings and this and that. He just spoke with his bat. He's very mentally strong, and he's a great asset for any team in the world, whether it be T20, Test, or One Day. This guy is a all format player. In Australian conditions in particular, he's done brilliantly. I know he struggled a bit in England with the bat in test matches. Like overall, he's been one of those players, just attacking, and he's an Australian great. He's uh, really, been there with the expectations of, those aggressive Australian players who take the game to you. He's lived up to those expectations and made sure that कि भाई मैं runs बनाऊंगा अच्छे rate पे, and yeah, he's been a great Australian player, one of my favorite players, man. David Warner has
Yeah,
been outstanding
100%,
so
man.
far.
When you see David Warner, obviously because me and you have another bias because of the Sunrisers Hyderabad and what he's provided us over the years with that. But apart from that, also, man, this guy is always a character, like you said, aggressive batting temperament, but always has a smile on his face. He doesn't get pressured. I mean, even in Hyderabad, we never saw him get frustrated at the fielders and stuff like that. As a captain, he was phenomenal. He was a good leader. He always, took a challenge with the most, smile with the biggest smile on his face. He won us the IPL in that phenomenal way. He always had an amazing innings. Beautiful fielder for me, one of the best fielders Australia's produced. Yeah, overall just a delight to have in the team and to watch. And yeah, he's just one of the last few of those great Australians that you say that we see. Gilchrist के ऐसे batting करता, aggressive रहता, मारता भी, फोड़ता भी, but yeah, he knows exactly how to do.
And he knows how to play to the audiences. Like Hyderabad में था, उन्हें तेलुगु सीख गया था. He was like doing reels for his fans. He knows exactly how to play to his fan base. He's very passionate. He lifts the whole crowd. I think he's one of the most underrated captains in the IPL. If I look at it, he took Sunrisers to a championship, and they beat Bangalore in Bangalore. That RCB team had Virat Kohli, who had the best individual batting performance season by any batsman in the world. I think in the IPL, that Virat Kohli hit like like so many centuries in that. They had AB de Villiers in full flow at that time, and he was coming off a wonderful innings against Gujarat in the knockouts. And they had Chris Gale also, Shane Watson, one of the best RCB teams, and they beat them in their own backyard. David won his captaincy. He made sure that he used his bowlers really well, the batting order as well. When that collapsed, he stood up. Like, I still remember that game against
Yeah.
Gujarat where Sunrisers played that game, and he batted with who was it? The spinner, man, the left arm spinner. नाम कैसा भूल गया मैं उसका. So, but they
Oja.
both batted to
नहीं ना
not
Oja नहीं,
Oja.
sorry. Kapur Puran.
I forgot his name, man. He's a legend. He was the only spinner at that time. But yeah, him and Warner put on that partnership, and he took them into the finals. In the finals, Gale and Virat Kohli were going on a pace of knots. They were like, the run rate was 11, 12, 13. So then he calmed it down. He gave the ball to that spinner again, and that spinner got David de Villiers out. I forgot his name, bro. But
Was
it was.
I'm not able to get it, man. उसका नाम ऐसा मुंह पे है लेकिन नहीं है, you know what I mean? ऐसा हो रहा है. विपुल शर्मा. नहीं
नहीं, विपुल शर्मा था.
का
मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा. But हाँ, so yeah, it's just the way he led the side. They didn't. I mean, MC is saying that, so I think it's right. So,
Yeah, he knows
Nihal,
his
thank you
style.
for joining us, man. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned, and let us know if the India team gets announced right now. We'll discuss it. Australia is very good form. Hopefully, the upcoming Border Gavaskar Trophy will be one of the most exciting Test series ever. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope there's going to be a lot of sledging heat, and just both teams going at it, because India in their conditions are superb, and Australia right now the best Test team in the world. Just the way they stack up, if they play to their full potential, it's going to be difficult, and they're made for all conditions, whether it's in England, whether it's in India, whether it's in Pakistan, or even in Australia. These guys have an outstanding team. There are a few fitness issues that they're sweating on. Like, it is going to be a Takkar Ka series. It's going to be live. It's going to be wild, I think, and really looking forward to it. It's the perfect, intro into the IPL. It's going to be cricket season. You'll have that
100%,
perfect transition, basically. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait for that series. But for now, I just want to see a bit more action. I want to see more contest. We're not seeing that even contest between bat and ball, because look, New Zealand are back in the game. Like, again, it's not an even contest with bat and ball. It's the batsmen dominating the whole time. Whereas South Africa are getting completely dominated. So I hope to see a bit more action. Let's see what happens in that India-Sri Lanka series. Like, yeah, Fez, anything else you wanted to add for the day today?
एक डे का ये हुआ था कि भाई बीबीएल में भी एक मैच था आज, ब्रिस्बेन हीट वर्सेस सिडनी थंडर.
Sydney are back.
Sydney smashed it, man. Opening partnership finished it off. Alex Hales and Matthew Jacks, they killed it with a 124-run partnership. Matthew Jacks made 56 runs in like 34 balls. 3 sixes and 6 fours mara, and Alex Hales, we know what a threat he is in the T20 format, and 59 of 36 with 10 boundaries and like just no sixes but 10 phenomenal boundaries, hitting the ball hard. Sydney Thunder are back, and they really gave Brisbane the heat rather.
Yeah, 15 all out होए बाद, it's a bit tough to come back, but they've made a comeback. Hales क्या player है यार, just unbelievable. I think the only T20 league that he's yet to shine in is probably the IPL, but even there he has a few innings here and there, I think. So that guy is just an outstanding player, Mr. T20 Alex Hales, and good to see him back on the cricket field and playing cricket and batting wonderfully well. So yeah, to make a comeback like that, आउटस्टैंडिंग स्टफ. अब ये इसमें बोलो मेरे को, मैं सुन रहा हूँ रिपोर्ट से कि रोहित शर्मा T20 सीरीज नहीं खेलने वाला है, because it's too touch and go. The series will start in a few days, 2nd or 3rd Jan, I think. So Hardik Pandya to lead, but it's not going to be a transfer in leadership permanently. It's Rohit Sharma is still probably the captain of all formats. That's what I'm hearing from the reports. Lekin Hardik Pandya, T20 captain, then Rohit to lead in the one day and tests. What are your thoughts? Do you want to see anybody in particular in some of the formats? I know Sanju Samson is one, but Kuldeep Yadav is another one. But who else would you want to see in the T20 one days?
I mean, I would really want the guy who I'm most wanting to see because of a good test series. I want Rishabh Pant to come back in his original format. I mean, he can be a T20 special. Also, I'm being very honest. I know you've been, hyping this guy for a while, but I would wish that Prithvi Shaw got a chance. Very honestly, Prithvi Shaw gets a chance, man. That guy, he can start a good innings and he can, get a few good runs inside. Then he'll be ready for the IPL as well. but not that IPL is important because we support Hyderabad. But I'm just saying, if, as a T20 base पे बोल रहा हूँ मैं, yeah, Prithvi Shaw should get a chance as well.
उन्हें अगर वो जो इन स्विंगिंग डिलीवरी पे काम कर लिया राइट, और थोड़ा सा लाइक फॉर्म में आ गया, वो बंदा अकेले मैच जिता सकता है पृथ्वी शॉ। वैसा है, टाइमिंग आउटस्टैंडिंग है उसकी, अग्रेसिव, उन्हें डरता नहीं किसी से बॉलर से। इट्स जस्ट दैट ही हैज अ फ्यू स्ट्रगल्स स्पेशली विद द इन स्विंगिंग डिलीवरी बिकॉज ऑफ आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज, इट्स हिज बैक लिफ्ट, आई थिंक इट्स टू हाई एट टाइम्स। तो इफ यू कैन फिक्स दैट एंड just get into form, then this guy will be dangerous.
Honestly,
One
yeah, I
question.
was coming to this point with Ibrahim Singh, Rohit, KL, and Virat are being rested. I wanted them to get rested. I wanted a young squad to play against Sri Lanka because you can take that risk with the Sri Lanka. I'm not with all
But
due
this
respect
always
to Sri
happens,
Lanka.
bro. Don't you think it's unfair that every time Sri Lanka comes Zimbabwe, or you go to Zimbabwe, you play a young squad and everything. Then when the World Cup comes, these everyone is ignored, and you go with your famous thing. Don't you feel that is a bit unfair? And not only unfair, do you think it breaks the rhythm a bit? I know England are a kind of anomaly to this because Ben Stokes and these guys take rest, they come in, they smash it. But for India, I just feel that that chemistry is lacking because you have a lot of players who are missing, like Bumrah, Shami, Rahul, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. These guys miss like quite a few series. You have Shikhar Dhawan leading, or whoever it is leading with a young team, and suddenly those players are nowhere to be seen. Sanju Samson doesn't play. Ishan Kishan doesn't play in the what's his name? Shreyas Iyer doesn't play. So you don't have the players playing. So don't you feel it's a bit unfair?
It is a bit unfair. I would also agree to that. That you have your players who come and they perform, but they don't get that chance because of these so-called seniors या जो भी बोले experience. अब बात यही हो जाती है ना मुस्तफा कि भाई अगर आप वर्ल्ड कप में जा रहे, you want to take your best team, right? And ICC tournaments में we've not been able. अब तुम किसी नए को लेके जाओगे, ट्रिपल टाइम्स तुम्हारा कट थ्रोट हो जाता वहां पे, लाइक तुम्हारा
मगर
मार
आप
देते
उसको
हैं।
खिला के जा रहे, ऐसा नहीं है कि नया लेके जा रहे, राइट? उसको सीरीज दे रहे।
हाँ, एक आध सीरीज दे रहे ना, ऐसा नहीं है वो भी एक प्रॉब्लम है कि भाई आप कंसिस्टेंटली कहीं को नहीं दे रहे बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली यू वुड वांट बिकॉज
या
देन
एक
क्या होगा
सीरीज नहीं दे रहे उसको भाई। अगर आप देखें पूरा साल लिविंग अप टू द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, ज्यादातर इन लोग ही खेले। और फिर कहाँ विराट कोहली वेस्ट इंडीज ने गया, रोहित शर्मा कहाँ था, लाइक ही वाज मिस्ड लाइक 3-4 सीरीज, केएल राहुल वाज हार्डली टू बी सीन बिफोर द एशिया कप। इन लोग ही तो खेल रहे थे मोस्ट ऑफ द ईयर अगर आप देखें पूरा।
हाँ
सो
सही
दैट्स व्हाट आई एम
है।
सेइंग, अगर एक आध सीरीज है ठीक है, आई अंडरस्टैंड। अब देखो राहुल त्रिपाठी इज बीन ट्रैवलिंग विद द टीम, उसको चांस ही नहीं मिल रहा। सो आई फील एट टाइम्स ज्यादती हो जाती कि भाई अगर आप केमिस्ट्री अगर बिल्ड करना चाह रहे, यू हैव टू प्ले रेगुलरली टुगेदर। एक आध प्लेयर को ड्रॉप करो ठीक है, मगर आपके बड़े प्लेयर्स पूरे नहीं खेल रहे। अब जैसे श्रीलंका सीरीज में इब्राहिम भाई बोल रहे कि 3 प्लेयर आपके स्टार नहीं खेलने वाले हैं, तो केमिस्ट्री कैसा बिल्ड होगा फिर? अगर नहीं खिला रहे तो फिर उन लोग को बड़े टूर्नामेंट भी बिठा, फिर आप वो रिस्क लो कि आप यंग टीम के साथ जा रहे, इनएक्सपीरियंस की टीम
हाँ, अब
के साथ
ये
जा रहे।
चीज क्या होता है,
बिकॉज आई
आप एक राहुल त्रिपाठी को बिठाए तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, आप एक कोई पृथ्वी शॉ को बिठाए तो इतना बड़ा हवा नहीं बनेगा। लेकिन अगर आप एक रोहित शर्मा, विराट कोहली के जैसे, विराट कोहली तो ऑब्वियसली नहीं, बट लाइक रोहित शर्मा या ऐसे कोई टाइप ऑफ प्लेयर को आप बिठाओगे एंड आप इन लोगों को खिलाओगे तो अपने वाले सबसे पहले आके हवा हल्ला करेंगे, भाई इन लोगों को कैसे बिठा दिया, these guys are the big players, these guys are the senior players। हाँ वो इंजर्ड थे तो क्या थे, हाँ नहीं, वो सवाल आ जाते हैं। अब आप राहुल त्रिपाठी इन लोगों को चांस दे दोगे, if it goes in a favor, yes, वाह जबरदस्त, द्रविड़ कैसे कोई जीनियस नहीं है, बट अगर बैकफॉल हुआ तो it'll be 10 times worse। That's the only way I look at it।
Yeah, but I'm willing to take that because either way you're going to get criticized। आप बड़ी टीम को लेके क्रिटिसाइज हुए, आप एम्बैरेस हो गए सेमीफाइनल में इंग्लैंड के अगेंस्ट, 2 बार आप हारे T20 वर्ल्ड कप बड़ी टीम मतलब एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स के साथ। तो my thinking is that just go with the team that is playing regular cricket, just because they have that chemistry, they understand each other well, running between the wickets, whether it's bowling, whether it's fielding, they understand each other well, and think that yes, you can have the rest। I'm not saying कि rest मत कराओ विराट कोहली को या रोहित शर्मा को, like सब इंसान है, सबको रेस्ट चाहिए, जरूरी है, लेकिन आप सबको इकट्ठे रेस्ट कर रहे हैं, फिर आधा से ज्यादा साल यंगस्टर्स खेल रहे हैं, फिर जब बड़ा टूर्नामेंट आता है उन लोगों को बैठा देते, फिर जो नहीं खेल रहे थे उनको खिला रहे हैं, तो वो रिदम ब्रेक होता मेरे हिसाब से। That's just my opinion।
सही, no, you're right on that point, but क्या है, like Rohit, Virat at least, I don't know KL, but Rohit and Virat, you can say that when they come into the team, they'll know what their roles are, they know what, because they're that experienced, they're that know कि भाई they'll be able to adjust with these guys। So obviously in that part, some of the youngsters will get sacrificed, and that is some tough call that they always will make। Because you'll always know कि भाई Rohit and Virat mentor होना, एक leader होना and stuff like that। So that is how India works based on experience। Even when we were talking about when we were talking about Ashwin in the T20 World Cup, I was saying कि neko खिलाओ इसको, but I knew कि भाई experience के वजह से खिलाते, because India has always been like that।
अब 2024 में 24 में वो है वर्ल्ड कप अमेरिका में, राइट? वहां पे आप देख रहे हैं रोहित शर्मा, विराट कोहली, राहुल राहुल खेलने वाले बोल के आपके
कहाँ
थॉट्स में है तीनों?
कहाँ पे?
नेक्स्ट T20 वर्ल्ड कप अमेरिका में
नहीं, आई डोंट
2024
थिंक,
में।
मे बी विराट कोहली, बट आई डोंट सी रोहित शर्मा.
तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, अगर नहीं खेल रहे वाले तो अपन जस्ट मेक दैट चेंज नाउ. इट्स नॉट डिसरिस्पेक्टिंग, इट्स लाइक ही स्टिल हैज अ लॉट. रोहित शर्मा हैज द बिगेस्ट असाइनमेंट ऑफ हिज लाइफ इन
द
7-8 months
2023.
नाउ. अब 2-3 दिन में 2023 शुरू हो रहा. ऐसा देखे तो इट विल बी द वर्ल्ड कप इन अ फ्यू मंथ्स. लाइक आई नो इट्स द एंड ऑफ 2023, लेकिन he has the biggest assignment. Let him focus on that, go all on that, and you have a potential world test championship final to play also. So why don't you make the transition and just giving Hardik Pandya the squad, play with the youngsters, at least then you have that thing. फिर आप नहीं बोलेंगे मेरे को आके कि भाई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, बिकॉज आप एक साल लगातार T20 खेल रहे हैं बिफोर दैट 2024 वर्ल्ड
हर
कप. तो
हर
आप वो
हर
डिसीजन लो.
हर बंदा महेंद्र सिंह धोनी नहीं होता. हर बंदा
नहीं,
महेंद्र
धोनी की
सिंह
बात
धोनी
ही
नहीं
नहीं है
होता.
उसमें.
बिकॉज आई टेल यू धोनी का क्या, क्यों बोले धोनी का. लारा, बिकॉज इन 2007 when he won the World Cup, yes, he had a World Cup in his back. He got authority, yes. But he also made tough calls. He took out the experienced players. He said कि भाई मेरे को एक core team बनाना है. अब World Cup में सिर्फ 3 साल बाकी है. मेरे को World Cup की team बनाना है, right? Then we saw the likes of different players coming in, and in that 2011 World Cup squad, Virat Kohli भी वो time पे उतना great नहीं था, but Virat Kohli was involved. गंभीर था, yeah. But like that is a tough call you have to make. अब तुम in that also we saw Sachin Sehwag play, but before that he did make a bit of a core team. युवराज सिंह ये वो कुला के आके घट करके टीम बनाए. That's how you make a team. अब रोहित शर्मा अगर आधे टाइम गायब रहेंगे तो ना, बिकॉज कैप्टन के बिना तो टीम बन नहीं सकती. तो कैप्टन ही जब आउट ऑफ एक्शन है, then you can't even take out the captain. That is also one other politics that'll come, right? So it's all on Rohit Sharma's temperament towards captaincy, and that is what is not good here.
But also it could be team management is also not making a stand. They can take a stand also. If the player is not taking a stand, the team management can take a stand. Dhoni was young at that time, but who made him captain? He didn't make himself captain. He was not saying कि मैं lead
he got
करूंगा
it. हाँ, वो तो किस्मत से आ गई उसको. 2020 was
हाँ,
a
तो
new
वही बोल
format,
रहा
and
हूँ. तो आप वैसे
he
ही
was the
किस्मत
only
से
person.
किसी और को बनाओ. मैं वही तो बोल रहा हूँ. आप लाइक धोनी के हाथ में नहीं था वो, और फिर उन्हें जीता, किस्मत उसकी अच्छी थी. देन ही गॉट द अथॉरिटी. मगर
हाँ,
आप
but
किसी को
post
बनाएंगे
जब
तो फिर होगा.
हाँ, अब
अब
जैसे
जैसे
रोहित
हार्दिक पांड्या को क्यों मिला कैप्टनसी? बिकॉज उन्होंने आईपीएल जीता. नहीं तो इंडिया में यही प्रॉब्लम. आप रिजल्ट, वो इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम अगर आप रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड कैप्टनसी बना रहे, राइट? देन यू लेट हिम. मगर हार्दिक पांड्या देन नाउ हैज टू टेक द अथॉरिटी एंड से कि भाई मेरे को बना. मगर उसको
लेकिन
बना रहे नहीं कैप्टन. उसको अगर
आई थिंक
बनाए कैप्टन हार्दिक पांड्या को, देन ही कैन टेक द कॉल कि मैं रोहित शर्मा को बिठाऊंगा. मगर आप कैप्टन उसको ही उस पे
लगा दे.
लगा दिए कैप्टनसी, तो फिर आप कैसा एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे किसी को क्या बोलना? धोनी ही वाज मेड कैप्टन, तो ही कुड मेक द कॉल. अगर धोनी
देखो,
वाइस कैप्टन था
मैं
तो
अगर मैं
ट्राविस
एक
हटता
चीज बोलता
तीन
हूँ.
में से.
हाँ, अब ये चीज मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि भाई अगर हार्दिक पांड्या को अथॉरिटी दे दिया, हार्दिक पांड्या हैज टू टेक इट, लेवल अप, एंड ही हैज टू मेक कॉल्स.
मगर उन्हें है ही नहीं कैप्टन परमानेंट अनाउंस, तो उन्हें नहीं ले सकता कॉल. ही इज ओनली
जब उसको,
कैप्टन इन द सीरीज.
बट यार इन दैट सीरीज ओनली इफ ही स्टार्ट गेटिंग रिजल्ट्स. अगर वो सीरीज में 3 4 5 जितने भी 3 T20 से ज्यादा तो खेलते नहीं, अगर उसमें हिज मेथड्स आर इंप्लीमेंटेड एंड ही इज गेटिंग रिजल्ट्स, देन ही कैन स्पीक ना. That's basically, देखो धोनी का किस्मत में क्या था, he didn't get a bilateral, he got the World Cup directly, right? In this kind of situation, if you're getting a bilateral, take the bilateral by the thorn.
But Dhoni was the T20 captain. He was not a replacement T20 captain.
हाँ, वो एक तो फॉर्मेट उनके कदमों में गिर गया ना, वो तो एक अलग ही चीज है.
तो वही बोल
आई
रहा
एम
हूँ.
सेइंग आपको अगर बायलैटरल भी दे रहे, अगर आपको बायलैटरल भी दे रहे, भाई तुम तुम्हारे मेथड्स इंप्लीमेंट तो करो. तुम इंप्लीमेंट भी नहीं करे कुछ डिफरेंट एज अ कैप्टन.
व्हाटएवर तो उन्हें ट्राई करा. जैसा उमरान को चांस दिया, अर्शदीप को चांस दिया, उन्हें आयरलैंड में दिया चांस. मगर फिर क्या हुआ? इंग्लैंड गए और रोहित शर्मा कैप्टन. मैं यही तो बोल रहा हूँ. जब आप कप्तानी अगर देंगे, उसके हाथ में दे दो या जो भी है, मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता. आपको यंगस्टर को दे दो एंड देन जस्ट शिफ्ट द टीम. एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग रोहित शर्मा इज द क्लास player. He's done wonderfully well in the IPL. I'm not saying anything, but he has a lot on his plate right now. I want him to focus on the One Day World Cup and the Test Championship. I want India to win that. I'm just.
But that also, Rohit Sharma has to be bold enough to take that decision. He is only not ready to accept
that. The management has to be bold. Why does Rohit Sharma? मैं क्यों छोड़ू अपनी कुर्सी? नहीं छोड़ना है भाई.
अगर आपके प्लेट पे ज्यादा आप फोकस नहीं कर पा रहे, you have to be true to yourself also ना.
मगर मेरा बॉस है, मेरा बॉस शुड टेक दैट डिसीजन. मैं क्यों लूं वो डिसीजन? अगर कुछ गलत कर रहा हूं या जो भी कर रहा हूं, या अगर मैं नहीं, आई एम नॉट लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम वर्किंग और व्हाटएवर, आई एम नॉट मैचिंग द वर्क एक्सपेक्टेशंस, आई विल स्टिल कंटिन्यू टू वर्क. व्हाई शुड आई लीव माय मनी or why should I leave my bread and butter or whatever? I'm still going to come play. If you're giving me the authority, I'll do that. That's not Rohit Sharma's call. It is the team management's call. The coach and the management, the chief selectors have to make that call. The board
हाँ, बट यहाँ
president
पे
can make
कोच
that
का भी,
call.
यहाँ पे कोच का एक जॉब कोच को
तो
नहीं
यही
पता
तो
है या
मसला
नहीं
है,
ना,
तो
वही तो
ये
प्रॉब्लम है।
अभी आए तो मुद्दे की बात पे, यही तो प्रॉब्लम
बट
है।
ऐसा भी है ना, मैं क्यों बोला कि एवरीवन लॉर्ड महेंद्र सिंह धोनी, धोनी का भी ही न्यू व्हाट टाइम ही हैड टू गिव अप, उन्हें अपने पद नहीं छोड़ता था, उन्हें भी चिकट रहता था, लोग गालियां दे, बट ही वाज ट्रू टू हिमसेल्फ, दैट इज व्हाट एट सम पॉइंट यू आल्सो हैव टू बी
एक
ट्रू
वर्ल्ड
टू
मगर
योरसेल्फ एज
थोड़ा
अ
सा एक्सटेंड कर
इंडिविजुअल।
दिया था 2019 वर्ल्ड कप।
बट स्टिल वो तो खरीब खरीब ला के उन्नीस दिए थे भाई, खरीब ला के उन्नीस
नहीं,
कराए थे वो।
गलत फहमी है, जडेजा दिया था वो गेम। वो क्या है, गलत फहमी है, वो जडेजा दिया था। मगर देखो तुम धोनी के पास जा रहे, अंडरस्टैंड क्यों जा रहे, लेकिन धोनी को कौन बनाया, मैं ये तो बोल रहा हूँ तुम्हारे को। इट्स नॉट
बनाया,
अबाउट
लेकिन
धोनी,
देखो
रोहित
छोड़ने
शर्मा।
की बात करो, मैं बनाने की बात, बनाए बात कैपिटलाइज करना, आई गेट, चलो उसके पद में गिर गया वो चीज, वो T20 वर्ल्ड कप किस्मत को गिर गई, बट ही इंप्लीमेंटेड हिज स्ट्रेटजी, ही गॉट इट, सेम व्हाट हार्दिक पांड्या डिड, राइट। माय थिंग इज अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही भाई, जितना भी मिल रही भाई आप
उन्हें
यूटिलाइज करो,
कब
अपना
छोड़ा,
काम
लेकिन
बताओ।
देखो तो
मैं बोलता हूँ
उन्हें टेस्ट
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में
कैप्टनसी
कैसे
कब
रहता,
छोड़ा धोनी।
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कैसा रहता भाई, आप अपना काम बताओ, आप काम बताओ, आप कुछ भी इतना सा भी करो, इतना बताओ, जो हमारे इंडिया में है इतना काम भी इतना बताना जरूरी है, वही करना पड़ता अपने को। एंड देखो लाइक यू सेड भाई, मैनेजमेंट का तो वी नो दैट्स तो मेस्ड अप, वो तो छोड़ दो, वो गिर गया, वो पिंडे में मिल गया बोल के बोलते रहे, वही छे वो। अब द्राविड को देख लो, द्राविड डजंट नो हिज जॉब इज हियर टुडे और टुमारो ही डजंट नो, so there is a lot of gaps in this, but रोहित शर्मा पर्सनली, if I was रोहित शर्मा एंड मेरे को लग रहा भाई मेरे को वर्ल्ड कप में फोकस करना है, आई कांट थिंक दैट फार अहेड भी बोल रहे हो आप, फिर आप टेस्ट मैच भी ऐसा वनडेज भी मरते मरते जीत रहे, देन इट्स टाइम टू क्वेश्चन योरसेल्फ एज वेल कि भाई मेरे में तो कोई कमी नहीं है, आप में ही कमी है, अभी एज अ कैप्टन आप नहीं कर पा रहे लीड, आप में नहीं है वो मोटिवेटिंग स्किल्स, आप गालियां दे रहे पिच पे, आप फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जा रहे, आपको एज कैचअप हो रही है, आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज, या यू जस्ट कम डू योर बैटिंग एंड गो होम भाई, नो
एक
प्रॉब्लम।
और भी चीज हो सकती है, धोनी तो वाज द कैप्टन ऑफ एवरीथिंग for a good 10 years, right? Or a good 8 to 10 years. He was a captain of everything. और टेस्ट छोड़ दिया था 2015 में, but he was India's leader. रोहित शर्मा को कैप्टनसी लेट मिली, अभी चस्का मिला
Yeah, 100%.
कैप्टनसी का,
I
तो
agree
ही
that. I
हैज
agree
नॉट बीन
that.
लॉन्गर पीरियड। मे बी ही इज थिंकिंग कि भाई मेरे को थोड़ा टाइम दो, मैं और दूंगा, मेरे को 1-2 साल दो और मैं जिता दूंगा वर्ल्ड कप। मे बी ही इज थिंकिंग लाइक दैट, दैट्स व्हाई मे बी ही इज नॉट लीविंग इट। इट कुड बी दैट आल्सो, दैट्स व्हाट आई एम जस्ट स्पेक्युलेटिंग, बट आई एग्री टू अ
Maybe.
सर्टेन एक्सटेंट। द प्लेयर आल्सो शुड, मेरे से नहीं हो रहा, मैं एक फॉर्मेट छोड़ दूंगा, वो लाइक प्लेयर कर सकता है। जब विराट कोहली भी वैसी करा, धोनी वैसा करा, मगर दोनों करे आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग स्टिंट।
Yeah, I guess you're right. एक ऊपर का comment
Sometimes,
है उसका just.
अच्छा पहले, we often say Rohit, Rahul, and Virat together, but Rohit and Virat at Rahul's age achieved so many things. They played regularly with full intent. First, we should eliminate Rahul from the superstars list. A good point.
Yeah,
It's a good point. Sometimes
yeah,
captains should be brave. What England does with Root is a prime example. Root has very good T20 record, but they had the vision, thus get the result. And exactly, and who
yeah,
did they replace with
100%.
Malan? Malan, yes, he's also a type of anchor, but more aggressive than Root. That's a big call. आप मेरे को बोलो, for example, will they drop a Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli and bring in, for example, a Rahul Tripathi or a Sanju Samson? They won't do that.
I
They
won't
won't
do
do
that.
that. So England they play fearless cricket, and the thing is also यहाँ पे pressure भी ज्यादा रहता है। अगर विराट कोहली को ड्रॉप मार दिए टेस्ट मैच में, उन्हें एक सीरीज अच्छा नहीं खेला, ड्रॉप मार दिया, पूरी पब्लिक पे चढ़ जाते।
एग्जैक्टली इंग्लैंड में क्या है भाई, इंग्लैंड में
भी
क्या
चढ़
है,
जाता हूँ, सब चढ़ जाएंगे, मगर वही
इंग्लैंड में क्या है, इतनी शिद्दत से नहीं देखते हैं, यू डोंट हैव टू मेक 100 पीपल हैप्पी इन दैट सिस्टम, राइट। इंडिया में यू हैव टू मेक हैप्पी फ्रॉम अ कॉमन मैन टू द यू नो government politics, everything is, it's too much, man. Like that's the problem with Indian cricket. There's so much thing with Bollywood also now, there's Hollywood also now, there's politics, there's falana dhimka, all the way to the common man have an opinion about cricket. इंग्लैंड में नहीं भाई, फुटबॉल है, क्रिकेट है, रग्बी है, हजार चीजें हैं, उन लोगों का फोकस भी नहीं जाता वहां पे। आज जो रूट खेल रहा अच्छा है, देखेंगे, आएंगे, दारू पीएंगे, चले जाएंगे। इंडिया में भाई जीन जान लगा लेते भाई, आप 9 to 5 की शिफ्ट करे बाद, यू वांट टू सी सम गुड क्रिकेट, यू वांट टू गो टू द ग्राउंड, यू वांट टू सी योर विराट कोहली, योर रोहित शर्मा, योर क्राउड पुलर्स, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट गोज इनटू दैट, राइट। अगर आप उन लोगों को नहीं खिलाए, फिर आप डिसअपॉइंट हो जाते हैं, अरे भाई इन्हें नहीं आया खेलने, अरे उन नहीं खा रहे इसलिए हार गए, इसलिए करे, देन from the top to the bottom there's an opinion about that, so there's always going to be that factor in India.
Yeah, 100% that extra pressure is there, and that's why वो
But
दिख के
Mustafa,
आता है गेम में फिर।
fresh out the press में अगर अपन घुस सकते हैं, I think I'm not, if I'm not wrong, maybe I think there's a new captain in India coming soon.
Okay.
For June. Yes, so I was reading something on Twitter, which was rather interesting, that your boy Rishabh Pant might be the first and one of the most youngest captains to captain India against South Africa in June 2023 series T20.
When
This
is
was
that?
in June.
in India. He
Yeah.
already captained, bro, last June.
Yeah, I think it's gonna again captain something like that is what I'm reading. I'm not
you,
sure. It came as a
you,
tweet to
you,
me, so I was like I
no,
just
no,
want to confirm with you.
he already captained in June. वो last year की मतलब 6 महीने पहले की खबर
तो
है
अभी
so
कोई मेरे को गलत भेज दिया शायद खबर कमीने कौन है वो साले
मैं बोला ये क्या हो गया उन्हें ऑलरेडी
हाँ
कैप्टनसी
बट
कर
फ्रेश
दिया.
ऑफ द प्रेस में ये था ऑब्वियसली ये तो खैर मैं लॉन्ड बना कर रहा था बट ये था कि भाई बायलैटरल सीरीज अनाउंस हो गई जस्ट टू गेट यू फ्रेश ऑफ द प्रेस के सेगमेंट पे बायलैटरल सीरीज अनाउंस हुई इंग्लैंड एंड बांग्लादेश की आफ्टर 6 years in Bangladesh they're going to play 3 T20s and 3 one-day internationals so finally Bangladesh and England they're going to be going head to head Dhaka and Chattogram is where the scene is set and yeah, it's going to be interesting for Bangladesh cricket as well. कि भाई finally England के against खेलने वाले which is good opposition, but Bangladesh also have been improving in both the formats.
It'll be great, man. जो उनके fans बहुत passionate है बांग्लादेश के. I know the over कर देते कभी कभी, and even the journalists are too passionate. कभी गुस्से में आ जाता है, ये हो जाता है. लेकिन that passion जरूरी रहता cricket में. And Bangladesh can improve the cricket and get wins under the belt if they beat England in a home series. It'll just go off the charts. Especially the stadium will erupt. I remember Sri Lanka Australia series in the summer just a few months ago. That those. Proper classical nights in Sri Lanka. There was some Shanaka played outstanding innings and he got Sri Lanka to victory in one of the matches in the T20s. And then even the one days, there were some really good matches. And just the crowds in Sri Lanka, they were going through so much, like in beautiful grounds, full packed stadiums. It was just wonderful to watch. So if these countries do well, it's just really good for cricket, boards well, because, right now it's all about the big three, India, England, Australia. Like of course, we know Pakistan is very passionate, but Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, these guys, their fans, they don't care, man. They want their team to win. They'll come, sun, shine, rain, they'll come and they'll support wherever in the world. And particularly in their home conditions, it'll be really good. Again, it'll be challenging because they're going to play the world champions. And the way England plays T20s, they take the conditions out of the equation. And they have the bowlers as well who can turn the ball, so they can cause problems for the opposition. So it'll be a tough challenge for Bangladesh. But I'm looking forward to the series.
I'm looking forward to Mehdi Hassan how he's going to perform and after that spectacular performance
When
against
is the
India
series
on
supposed to take place?
March में है 2023 and it's gonna be what do you call it? All in Dhaka and Chattogram के बीच में रहेगा the 3 ODIs and 3 T20s but yeah how Mehdi Hassan performs is gonna be interesting we saw how he was in the crunch situations against India and I guess if they include Taijul also in this one-day squad I don't know maybe he's a test bowler ज़्यादा but that will also be another thing that England will be wary about. Apart from that, yeah, Ramesh Bhai is back on YouTube, man. Ramesh Bhai was going crazy the other कल इस्तीफा हुए बाद पूरा उनको निकाल दिया बाद रेजिग्नेशन के बाद शुरू कर दिया उन्होंने अपना कि भाई इट्स
वही तो
नॉट
ये समझ
फेयर
में
इट्स
उन्होंने
बिकम अ
कंट्रोल
जोक
करे नहीं कंट्रोल करे बिकॉज कोई ना कोई आके सवाल पूछ ले रहा था तो डिड ही हैव सिलेक्टेड आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड हाउ दैट वर्क बिकॉज फैंस एक के बाद एक आ रहे थे और सवाल पूछ रहे थे उनको वो यूट्यूब चैनल पे कल मैं देख रहा था लाइक पहले 10-15 मिनट देखा देन आई हैड अ मीटिंग सो आई कुडंट फिनिश इट लेकिन मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कोई भी आके पूछ ले रहा था मगर थोड़े कंट्रोल दिखे सवाल बट दे आस्क्ड सम डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस आल्सो सो आई डोंट नो हाउ ही डिड दैट बट दिस इज हिज forte man speaking commentating analyzing he has a good flow he has control over his language so this is his forte this is where he can
Yeah, I
say
think he just stick to this, but he was very upset. He was like, "अरे भाई मैं ये मजाक करके रख दिए पूरे it's become a joke the system it's all politics and politics and cricket को नहीं mix करना चाहिए." Mohammad Wasim he played certain amount of test cricket. Shaklan Mushtaq played 50 tests for Pakistan. I played for Pakistan और हम लोग को ऐसा ऐसा निकाल दिए बिना बोले करे and we middle of the season में निकाल दिए हमारे को आप लोग ऐसा बेशर्मी से and we didn't have time to even react we didn't have time and जो भी constitution change हुआ 2018 या 19 का constitution अब it's been dissolved and 2014 constitution has been reinstated तो I mean काफी changes कर दिए within a week नजम साहब and फिर शायद अफरीदी भी आ गए तो he was very upset he just said that it's high time that the selection shouldn't be done in this manner at least 3 years की tenuity में आप मेरे को 1 year में ही निकाल दिए तो मैं तो काफी अपसेट हूँ ऑब्वियसली एंड सो
मेरे
आल्सो
को भी
अपसेट
देखो
फॉर
उन्हें लाइक मैं बोल चुका हूँ पहले भी कि उन्हें थोड़ा कभी बात पलटा देता कभी डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स रहते मगर एक्चुअली इफ यू लुक एट इट ही इज डन अ डिसेंट जॉब दे रीच्ड द सेमीफाइनल्स फाइनल्स दे बीट इंडिया इन T20 वर्ल्ड कप अंडर हिज leadership if you want to say and he tried to do things of course a lot of Indian fans were not happy with his comments when he said कि भाई एशिया कप को नहीं आए तो हम लोग वर्ल्ड कप नहीं आएंगे and stuff like that लेकिन you have to he also explained that you have to understand my position at that time. I'm the PCB chairman, and I have to do what's best for Pakistan cricket. And if India don't come, bahut nuksan hai hamare liye. So I have to take a stand somewhere, and I have to defend my country. So I get that. And also he made them, the way he backed Babar Azam. There's certain positives there, and थोड़ा जल्दी तो sack कर दिया, because the Pakistan have had worse
या
series
एंड वो भी
losses.
ऐसे टाइम पे जब आपके पास टीम्स आ रहे थे, इंग्लैंड आई, अभी न्यूजीलैंड आई, आप उसके बीच में आप ऐसा डिसीजन ले लिए व्हिच वाज शॉकिंग एज वेल। बिकॉज़ भाई वो एक रेपुटेशन की भी बात आ जाएगी, क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पीसीबी में बैगन, यहाँ पे हम ना आ रहे और यहाँ पे बॉडी
हाँ,
चुकड़ा
और
हुआ है।
स्पेशली आप
इट
अभी
डजंट
अभी
सीम
आप
लाइक अ गुड
फाइनल
फीलिंग।
पहुंचे, ठीक है, कुदरत का निजाम था जो भी था, लेकिन आप फाइनल पहुंचे, एंड देन यू प्लेइंग
कुदरत का
बीइंग द
निजाम भी जा रहा जनवरी में, कुदरत का निजाम भी जनवरी में आउट हो जा रहे हैं बेचारे।
हाँ, 6-7 टेस्ट मैचेस जीत चुके हैं इंग्लैंड, एक ही टेस्ट मैच हारे। तो आउट ऑफ द 3 आर अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान, बट दे बीट इंडिया आल्सो, दे बीट न्यूजीलैंड आल्सो, न्यूजीलैंड को भी क्लीन स्वीप करे, साउथ अफ्रीका को 2 हराए। तो आई थिंक थोड़ा हार्श था वो, लाइक रमीज राजा को रखना था, at least give him a longer term, because yes, he was saying things which are controversial, he was saying things maybe you don't agree with, but for the betterment of Pakistan cricket, there was an improvement. You did something that you never achieved in your life. You beat India in a World Cup. But that's
Yeah,
not Ramiz Raja's,
but it is
the
still,
credit doesn't go
it's
to
in
him,
his,
but like,
yeah.
it's under his tenure, like, the way they back the youngsters, the way he's backed Babar Azam and everything, like getting cricket back into Pakistan, getting PSL back into Pakistan, you have to organize all that. New Zealand and England ran away, then he brought them back and made them play series there. So he is the one who made those decisions, and because he also knows how to talk, he knows how to, he's been in and around the game. He'll know how to speak to the foreign people as well.
Foreign
He'll know how
people,
to speak
yeah.
to the local people. He has a good,
Arapo, yeah.
control over his language. So there are certain things that he does well. I just felt that, okay, if they got knocked out to Zimbabwe and they lost that T20 World Cup, then you can sack him. But like, abhi thoda sa jaldi ho gaya tha mere hisab se. Yes, Ramiz and his selection panel selected the squad for this series. Afridi just added Mir Hamza, Dhani, and Sajid Khan to the squad. And the thing is, look, Mir Hamza today he played, right. He didn't
He
look.
bowled only 3 overs in the whole
He did not
day,
look
and then
best.
towards the end he came back.
भाई
So
वो
yeah, he
100
didn't.
100 क्या नहीं, not even that, 125 128 पे bowling कर रहा था. He did not look sharp
And
at
4
all.
साल के बाद bowling कर रहा था उन्हें, something like that. He's playing a test after 4 years or
एंड ये
something.
तो
You know,
लाइक चीफ सेलेक्टर, ये तो अलग रोल है, लाइक शाहिद अफरीदी का रोल अलग है, रमीज राजा का अलग था. ही वाज द चेयरमैन, एंड फॉर हिम इट्स मोर ऑफ द फील्ड स्टफ. इट्स लाइक ट्राइंग टू गेट सीरीज, ट्राइंग टू होस्ट tournaments, is trying to mend relations with India, trying to do different things. Of course, look, with the India thing,
and
the
I
India
think he would have
Pakistan
been the
thing,
best one. I think he would have been the best one and probably the only one to actually make an India-Pakistan series happen.
even if it doesn't, I don't think it'll make a thing, because that's almost an impossible task. But at least, like, what he was doing for Pakistan cricket, there were improvements, right? Under his leadership, there were things that you saw stable captain of all formats. Why we don't agree with the captain, that's a different thing, but you saw stability there. You saw youngsters being back. You saw Pakistani fans, like, just going behind them. Like, kitna criticize hote, like, the first person to flip on their team is a Pakistani fan, but the way they were behind the boys in both the World Cups, it was
Yeah,
good to watch.
100%.
And Ramiz Raja gets credit for that. Yes, the Asia Cup final was probably something, and that's what it is as results. If you don't get trophies, then after that, if you have one terrible time, like a period against England,
I
3
think
test
just the
matches,
fact that
then you're
people
done.
were like keep criticizing and pointing out the fact that Rizwan has been given a more chance and PSL में से players बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहे. So I think ये 2-3 चीज़ें काफी लोग रोटेट कर कर
यार मगर
करके
पीएसएल से आ
बिजनेस
रहे हैं
अच्छा
प्लेयर,
लेते
ठीक
हैं.
है, टेस्ट मैच में मैं समझ सकता हूँ, मगर पीएसएल तो इम्प्रूव
टीम
कर
आने
रहा है
वाली
अपनी
है.
टी20 क्रिकेट.
यस, नितिन
टीम
पाजी भी आ
आने
गए हैं,
वाली है
टीम
भाई.
आने वाली
भाई
है.
बताओ कब आ रही टीम. हम वेट कर रहे हैं, और 10-15 मिनट जुड़े रहेंगे आपके साथ. जब तक टीम नहीं आई, नहीं निकलेंगे हम. तो मेरे को बताओ कि टीम कब आ रही है. इंडियन टीम आने वाली है, वही हमको पता है आने वाली है, मगर बताओ कब आ रही है, फिर हम डिस्कस करेंगे. नितिन पास,
Yes,
व्हाट्स
sir.
अप my bro? But yeah, so that's what it is, right? About Ramiz Raja over there, there's certain things like PSL you talked about. It did improve Pakistan cricket. They did mingle with foreign players, and they did improve their T20 cricket. Otherwise, Pakistan wasn't a team who said batting nahi hai, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai. They did improve their game. So PSL is, you can't bash it all the time. Even IPL, yes, it will affect your Test cricket. It might do things, but that doesn't. You can't put all the blame on one tournament.
वेल, फरहान बेहरडीन जो साउथ अफ्रीकन प्लेयर था, उन्होंने रिटायरमेंट ले लिया आज फाइनली. ही हैंग्ड अप
देखा
हिज
मैंने.
boots and he's saying tata bye bye after like playing 59 ODL and 38 T20 internationals. But yeah, 39 year old है, और उन्हें काफी नहीं दिखा उन्हें, but yeah, not a bad career and not a bad player for South Africa.
100%. फैज मेरे को ये सवाल है कि आई मीन पीपल यू वांट टू come back if the Indian team gets announced, or you want to wait another 5 minutes and see what the scene is?
Is it going to happen today for sure?
Yeah, but it could happen anytime. Farhan Badin, very good all-rounder. Yeah, he went a bit under the radar. लेकिन हाँ, नितिन भाई आप ही बोल दो हमको कि आप जुड़ेंगे अगर हम वापस आए तो, या अभी ठहर जाना 10 मिनट का? मेरे को मालूम नहीं क्या क्या टाइम पे होगा। 7:30 हो
But
सकता है
it's
इंडिया टाइम।
7:30
अभी
there.
अभी
Yeah, it's
7:30।
like yeah, it's 7:30 now
मगर
in
एक
India.
बार
So
टीम 10
yeah.
बजे भी अनाउंस हुई थी, मेरे को याद है। So I don't know, but this is the excitement of Indian cricket. Even for a bilateral, we're excited for the team announcement. और आप लोग
I
भी
mean,
बताएं
lot
कि
of things are happening with India. I think that's why also we're so excited to see guy भाई who किसका तुक्का सही लग रहा कि भाई रोहित रहना,
मीटिंग चल रही
केएल
है।
रहना,
मीटिंग,
ये रहना।
हाँ, और
मीटिंग तो
नितिन
चल
भाई बोलते
रही है।
मीटिंग चल रही है। मीटिंग तो शुरू हुई 1-2 घंटे पहले मेरे ख्याल से, आराम से। आई थिंक रोहित शर्मा भी फ्रॉम वीडियो कॉल जुड़ गए हैं वहां पे, जो खबर पड़ रहा था। प्लीज कम बैक आफ्टर द टीम विल बी अनाउंस, आई विल जॉइन फॉर श्योर। रन भाई खत्म। फैज लेट्स डू दैट देन। लेट्स वेट फॉर द टीम टू बी अनाउंस्ड एंड
8:30 तक आएगी बोल रहे हैं नितिन बाजी।
आई नो वी हैव सम कमिटमेंट्स इन द इवनिंग, बट लेट्स कम बैक। हमारे दोस्त बोल रहे हैं कि आ जाओ, तो आ जाएंगे। क्या बोलते हैं?
Yeah, done for sure inshallah.
बट आप लोग जुड़िए हमारे साथ, और अपने अभी क्या बोलते, सो हम विल लीव, बट मेक श्योर यू कम बैक। विल कम बैक व्हेन द टीम इज अनाउंस्ड। फैज तो 100% will be there, and he will be excited to see who the captain, vice captain, what the team selection is. I think Hardik Pandya will be the captain for the T20 one-day का देखेंगे, और इंटरेस्टिंग रहने वाला है, because all eyes are on the one-day now because of the World Cup coming. तो देखेंगे क्या होता। जब तक आप लोग इंतजार करिए, हम भी इंतजार करेंगे, एंड थोड़ा लंच वंच खा लेंगे और रेडी हो जाएंगे। मतलब यहाँ पे तो देर हो गई, लेकिन हम लोग लेट ही खाते हैं, तो थोड़ा सा एनर्जी लेके we will be back in a bit. Faiz, thank you for joining me. I think again it's been a batsman's day, batter's day from in the test matches.
Yeah.
And now let's discuss some team selection in a few minutes or few hours. All right.
Yeah, surely, definitely waiting for the team eagerly.
All right. Take care, guys.